Hey YouTube, this is Donnie and welcome to another Eastwood video series. In this series we're working on the Mustang and we're changing the color and showing you all the steps that we're taking on this job. And you can also visit our friends at Eastwood by clicking right here. Now in this video we're going to show you some tips for aligning the doors so that the gaps are nice and even. Alright, we finally got the jambs painted. We got the jambs of the car painted, and now we have the jambs of the door so we can put the doors on. And the reason we're putting the doors on, we're not so much worried about the hood or the deck lid or anything like that, is because we're putting stripes that's going to go down the side of the car. And we would hate to measure wrong or get something off just a little bit and the stripe not line up correctly. So on this job, we decided to do, to jam the doors separately and put the doors on. Now there may be instances, like I mentioned in the last video, where it may be a better option to paint the entire door, the front and the back, so that you don't have any lines or anything like that. But we decided to do it this way with this car. And so we're getting the doors back on this video, and we're going to give you some tips for lining the door up. Now I realize a lot of you may not have these door stands like we have in this video, but man, they really come in useful because you can adjust this door up, down. You can tilt it any direction. You can tilt the front in or out or the bottom in or out. Really come in handy. But you could use a jack stand with some boards or maybe some blankets, fire blanket or something to keep from damaging the door. But if you are putting on fresh painted panels, it's also very important before you put them up to the car and start trying to put them on, like right here, is that you tape the edges with some masking tape. I'd put a couple layers because you don't want to mar or scratch any of the edges of the panel. So I would always, like if you just painted a fender, you paint the jamb and the outside at the same time you're putting it on, be sure and mask it off to protect the paint from damaging it. So we're getting the door up there, we're getting it aligned, and like I said, you can do it with a little bit more work, with a jack stand. This makes it really simple. If you take a lot of doors off, I would definitely think this would be something worth investing in and buying. But if you're just DIY that's going to do one or two rebuilds, it's probably not worth it. So you see, we've got the door up there and we got it aligned, and you can get it pretty close. Now, if you're just taking a door off and putting the same door back on, which we are here, but it doesn't work because we painted the door. But if you're just R&I the door, taking it off, putting it back on, and you're not painting the jamb, a tip for you is to mark, where the hinges went, and that way you can put it right back where it was at. Or many times, where the hinges goes not painted, or it's faded, the rest of the door jamb is faded, and it's still looks better where that hinge went, or it's easy to see exactly where it went. So try to put it exactly where it was at, when you took it off. Now I know sometimes it may not have been aligned right whenever you took it off, so that wouldn't work in that case either. But in something like this, we can't see none of the lines because they've all been painted, sanded and painted. So we just got to get it up there and get it as close as we can. Then we're going to have to do some final adjusting like we are right here. Now, it's important to know, what to adjust to. You want to be sure that you adjust the door to the quarter panel and the rocker panel. Why? Because those aren't going to move. We cannot adjust the quarter panel. It's a weld-on panel. We can't adjust the rocker. It's a weld-on panel. So make certain that you adjust your gaps. I'm talking about making sure the gaps are just right to those two areas. If it's off on the fender, well, you can adjust the fender. But if you adjust it to the fender first and make it just perfect up there, and it doesn't adjust to the quarter panel and the rocker panel, well, there's nothing you can do with that. So make sure that you adjust to the stationary panels first. And we've got that other door on. Now we're putting this one on. We're going to follow the same sequence. Now, one more tip I'd like to mention while we're adjusting these doors and installing doors is whenever you're putting these on, take the striker off, because a lot of times you may try to adjust the door, have the striker help align the door. You don't want that. You want to make sure the door aligns correctly first, and then put the striker in and adjust it to the door. So that way you don't have the striker trying to pop the door up or down, adjusting the door. And this is just a quick video with a few tips about how to align doors. But the main thing is, I mean, make sure it is aligned well in this case, because we can't do no final aligning, you know, after the fact, because we're going to paint stripes on this. We want to make sure all the body lines, all the gaps are correct, because after we paint the stripe, it's going to have to stay there, or else if you try to adjust the door some later after you paint the stripes on there, you know, the stripe's not going to match. So spend all the time you need at this point to make sure that the doors are lined up correctly. And as always, thanks for watching these videos. If you liked it, be sure to give us a thumbs up, give us a like, share this with your friends, and we'll see you in the next video.